I think one of the biggest myths in real estate leadership is that people quit because the market gets hard. But in my experience, that's usually not true. Most agents can handle a challenging market. What they struggle with is feeling alone, uncertain, and unsupported while navigating it. And that's why some teams come out of difficult markets stronger, while others experience burnout, disengagement, and turnover. I'm Coach Emily Terrell, the #1 real estate coach and speaker at Tom Ferry. And I spend a lot of time coaching brokers, team leaders, and agents through changing market conditions. And one thing I've noticed is that the strongest leaders don't spend all their time trying to motivate people. Instead, they focus on creating an environment where motivation naturally develops. Because real motivation isn't something you give people. It's something that grows when people feel capable, supported, and connected. Create small wins every week. One of the biggest mistakes leaders make during slower markets is focusing only on major outcomes. Closings, listings, big wins. The problem is those milestones can be farther apart when the market slows down. That's why strong leaders create opportunities for smaller wins. Things like appointments booked, conversations started, referrals generated, social media consistency, database growth. These smaller victories create momentum. And momentum is incredibly powerful because people who feel like they're making progress tend to stay engaged. Increase communication during difficult seasons. When uncertainty increases, communication becomes even more important. One thing I see great leaders do is communicate more, not less. They don't disappear when things get hard. They become more visible, more available, more intentional. Sometimes agents don't need answers. Sometimes they simply need reassurance that they're not navigating challenges alone. Building strong communication effectively creates trust. And building high levels of trust effectively strengthens team culture. Help agents focus on what they can control. One of the fastest ways to lose momentum is obsessing over things outside your control. Interest rates, headlines, inventory, economic predictions. The strongest teams consistently redirect attention back to controllable actions. Questions like, how many conversations did we have this week? How many follow-up calls were made? What content was created? How many opportunities entered the pipeline? Those are things agents can influence. And focusing on controllable actions reduces anxiety dramatically. Use coaching instead of pressure. This is a huge distinction. In slower markets, some leaders unintentionally increase pressure. More meetings, more demands, more criticism. But pressure rarely creates confidence. Coaching does. Strong leaders ask better questions. They help agents identify obstacles. They provide support. They create accountability without creating fear. And that combination produces much stronger long-term results. I worked with a brokerage that went through a difficult market period where everyone felt stuck. Leadership initially tried to solve the problem by pushing harder. More urgency, more pressure, more expectations. But morale continued to drop. Eventually, they shifted their approach. They focused on coaching, communication, and celebrating progress. Within a few months, the culture felt completely different. Not because the market suddenly changed, because leadership changed. If you're leading a team right now, remember this. Your agents don't need someone to pretend the market is easy. They need someone who can help them navigate reality with confidence. The strongest leaders create clarity, consistency, communication, accountability, support, and those things build resilience in any market. If you'd like more ideas around leadership, team culture, AI, systems, and agent development, visit www.coachamiliterrell.com and connect with me on Instagram at @CoachAmilieTerrell, where I'm always sharing practical strategies that leaders can implement right away. Because great leadership isn't measured by how people perform when conditions are perfect. It's measured by how they grow when conditions are challenging.